William ran away from his marriage. He said, "You're always pushing me, I just want to take a breath." When I was hospitalized for a miscarriage, he was enjoying the sunset in the northwest with his first love. They kissed passionately under the setting sun and wrote, "Young people love to pursue dreams, but when they grow up, they will always face reality." Then he told me, "I'll be back soon." First love is his dream, and I am the reality he has to face. He's back and I don't want it anymore. The excitement starts right away. If you like it, please help and click to subscribe. William's escape from marriage was so sudden that no one was prepared. I forced myself to see the guests off and deal with the aftermath. After everything was over, William's mother cried and scolded him in front of me. I listened to her scolding with a smile on my face, and then I comforted her softly, "It's okay, Mom, wait until he comes back, and we'll ask what happened." No one could contact William. I started calling in the afternoon, and he finally answered after the 100th call. I was a little angry for once. "William, where are you? Do you know today is our wedding day?" William was silent for a long time before he said, "I know." "So what are you doing?" He cursed in Chinese and said excitedly, "What do you think I am doing? I just want to take a breath. I am going to be driven to death by you. Are you so eager to get married?" I couldn't believe he would say that. "You proposed to me." William stopped talking. I blinked my sore eyes. "Let's not argue on the phone, when will you be back?" 1 month. "Give me 1 month. Good." He hung up the phone without hesitation. My mood did not calm down, my chest was heaving violently, echoing with all kinds of complicated emotions. It wasn't until I stood up that I felt my panties were wet. I went to the bathroom and saw blood everywhere. There was a heavy pain in my abdomen. My period has always been regular, but it was late this month. I thought I was too busy, but something didn't feel right today. A guess flashed through my mind, and I went to the hospital for a checkup. The results came out and I was pregnant. I want to tell William. Phone, talking on the phone. WeChat, exclamation mark. He actually blocked me. My heart ached. It was also at this time that I saw Emma's circle of friends. Meeting an old friend. In the attached photo, the corner of the black windbreaker is shown. If you know someone very well, you can recognize him or her at a glance with just a few small clues. William, go find Emma. Emma is William's first love. I am an orphan taken in by their family and live a dependent life. Worried all day, trying to please everyone. William doesn't like me. He asked me to stay away from him at school. No one at school knew about our relationship. William is not a low-key person, and his relationship with Emma is open. However, both of them had top grades in the grade, so the teachers turned a blind eye. This relationship ended without any result. Because William's mother discovered the affair between Emma's mother and William's father. During that time, my aunt and uncle were always arguing, and once they even came to blows. When I tried to stop them, I got hit on the head. They paused briefly to silently hate each other. I went to the hospital alone for examination and bandaging. As time passed, this matter gradually passed. They seemed to be in love again. Only Emma and William's grades were affected. In the end, one of them went to the far north and the other stayed in the south. My aunt asked me to take care of William. I also stayed in the south. William still doesn't like me. To be more precise, he seemed to hate me. But I don't take it seriously. The turning point happened in my junior year. William's mother broke her leg, so I took half a month off to take care of her. William only came once. He leaned against the hospital corridor, looked at me deeply, sighed, and said, "Thank you." I lowered my head. This is what I should do. After my parents passed away, I was like a round ball, being kicked around by my relatives. It was my mother's best friend when she was a teenager who took me in, which gave me a place to live. I should be grateful. So when my aunt asked me if I was willing to marry William, I looked shy and said, "It depends on what William wants." Then, he proposed to me. He would pick me up from get off work with a bouquet of pink roses, saying that I was as gentle and peaceful as they were. He would suddenly lean on my shoulder and say that it would be romantic to grow old together. William made me think that he really liked me. Later, he ran away from his marriage. With Emma. I saw a completely different William in Emma's circle of friends. He seemed to be invigorated. They would drive off-road vehicles, speeding across the endless desert, chasing the rising sun. They would also cheer for the little grass growing out of the dry cracks in the rocks. It's all so vibrant and touching. On the last day, they quietly waited for the sunset in the northwest. All I saw was their shadows stretched very long and pressed tightly together under the setting sun. It was as if they only had each other in their world. I saw this post on WeChat Moments while waiting for a red light, and it took me a long time to come back to my senses. I didn't have time to avoid the black car that rushed towards me across the red light. The violent impact took away my consciousness. I just felt pain. The pain from inside to outside is indescribable. When I woke up in the hospital, it was already evening the next day. The setting sun shone crookedly through the undrawn curtains and fell right on my belly. I felt empty. The doctor also informed me of this sad news. The child is gone. He came suddenly and left in a hurry. I felt like I had no place to turn to when I felt sad, and I could only stare blankly at my flat belly. The nurse brought me a cell phone. It is much stronger than the child's and has not broken. As soon as the door is unlocked, a message appears on the screen. William said, "I'll be back soon." Yeah, a month. He just posted a circle of friends 5 minutes ago. Young people love to pursue their dreams, but when they grow up they have to face reality. This month, he happily had a bizarre dream with his sweetheart. There is no me in this dream. There is no child who has not left a mark on the world. When he woke up from the dream, he remembered that I existed. But I don't want him anymore. I don't want to experience that kind of pain again. I have asked for leave from the company. I turned off my cell phone and didn't answer anyone's calls. I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I packed up my things and left the hospital. I was stopped when I was passing through the corridor. One of William's friends stopped me and said, "Sister, what are you doing in the hospital? Brother William is going crazy looking for you." He was going to call William. I stopped him. "No need to fight, I'm just about to go back." Benjamin then put his phone down. I saw the girl behind him. This floor is the gynecology department. I heard that he has a girlfriend who is studying in Germany, and they are engaged. My girlfriend probably hasn't returned home yet. Benjamin smiled bitterly and said, "This is my sister. She is not feeling well. I am a good person and came to see her." "What are you doing here, sister-in-law?" I said calmly, "Irregular menstruation." He looked embarrassed. "Then you should take a rest, we are leaving." Benjamin pulled the girl away. I looked at their backs and a word suddenly popped up in my mind: cattle and horses. I returned to the wedding room at 9 o'clock in the evening. William and William's mother were both there, and the first thing they opened their mouths was to blame. William's mother said sullenly, "Olivia, even if you are angry with William, you shouldn't just disappear without saying anything, right?" I felt a little tired and didn't tell them about the car accident. I nodded and said, "I'm sorry." William's mother's complexion improved, and she pulled me into the living room, pressed me next to William, and said to herself, "Since you are all back, I will find someone else to celebrate the wedding. There must be no accidents this time." No one spoke. William's mother first glanced at me, then glared at William. "Did you hear me, little brat? You can't escape marriage even if you have pre-marriage anxiety, right? Have you ever thought about how embarrassing it would be for Mom and Olivia? We are all adults, be more mature." William groaned, then reluctantly said, "I understand. There won't be any accidents this time." William's mother was satisfied and said with a smile, "It would be best if it were this month, and at the latest, next month. We can't put this off. If we put it off, something unexpected will happen." There is something else behind her words. William's eyes darkened. And I had no chance to speak throughout the whole process. I was like a puppet who only needed to obey and did not need to be consulted. I seemed to be back to the time when the college entrance examination results came out. William's mother pulled me into the room and said, "Olivia, I know you are excellent, but your brother William is too disobedient. I want you to help watch him in college, to prevent him from being entangled by bad people." William's mother wanted William to stay in the South. This means that I want to stay, too. Of course I didn't want to, Auntie, I want to go to college. William's mother stopped talking and just kept touching my hand. A few minutes later, she suddenly started crying. "Olivia's mother passed away early. You were only in the 2nd grade at that time, right? You were so young. William's father didn't want me to take you in, thinking you were a burden. But I think you look too much like Olivia's mother. Your mother and I grew up together. I couldn't bear to see you suffer, so I brought you home, despite everyone's opposition. Auntie really treats you as her own daughter. The grace of raising me is like a mountain, pressing on my back." I couldn't straighten my back and I couldn't breathe. I lowered my head and let the tear fall on my knees. "Auntie, I'll listen to you." When I first came to William's family, my aunt seemed to like me sincerely. She decorated my room according to my preferences and bought me many beautiful clothes. At the beginning, I always had nightmares, dreaming about my parents being in a car accident, and she slept with me for half a month. At that time, I thought that her arms were the warmest place and had the scent of a mother. But later, I became the string that tied William in her hand. You don't need to have your own ideas, just follow. I am really tired. I blinked my dry eyes and said, Auntie. Before we got married, she asked me to call her mom and said we would be a family in the future. Today, I can't say mom anymore. I want to divorce William. The living room was completely silent. Then, William suddenly said, Olivia, what do you mean? I looked him straight in the face and said, literally, I want to divorce you. You should understand. Oh shit. William took a few deep breaths and kicked the coffee table hard, his handsome face twisted slightly. You said you would get married and you said you wouldn't get married. Are you treating me like a dog? I frowned. I don't know what he meant by this. Did you lose your memory? You were the one who proposed to me. William mocked. If my mom hadn't cried, made a scene, and even threatened to hang herself, do you think I would be willing to propose to you? Isn't this what you want to see? Oh. So that's how it is. My temple was throbbing and it hurt a little. I took a deep breath and said, that's perfect. You don't like me anyway, and I can't tolerate my husband running away from home and wandering around the world with his first love. It's romantic, but it's not my kind of romance. William understood what I meant immediately. A trace of guilt flashed across his eyes, followed by anger. You followed me? I thought he would at least feel a little guilty towards me. I overestimated him. I took out my phone and opened Emma's moments. During this month, they were like a pair of immortal lovers on the run. Every day was like their last and they lived their lives to the fullest. I don't know why Emma didn't block me, and I don't care. William's eyes fell on my phone screen and he shrank back suddenly. He was like a balloon that was inflated and suddenly punctured. The air was instantly deflated. His face turned pale. How did you get her WeChat? William is a noble man who tends to forget things. Or maybe, he doesn't even see me. So I didn't know that Emma and I represented our school in a biology competition in high school. We had a lot of interactions at that time, so it was normal for us to have contact information. I didn't answer her question, but turned to William's mother. This time, I want to live for myself, Auntie, I hope you can understand. William's mother's eyes were fixed on my phone screen. She would never forget that face. The next second, she was overwhelmed by anger and shouted shrilly, why are you getting involved with her again? Are you trying to piss me off to death? Her mother almost took your father away from her. Are you going to elope with the mistress's daughter? William has a strong psychological quality and has regained his composure. The problems of her parents have nothing to do with her. She is innocent. William's mother gasped and said, I will never let her enter our house, so just forget it. He glanced at me subconsciously and said, I have no plans to be with her. We are just friends. She played with me for a month. The mistress's daughter is a slut. She must have seduced you. I'm going to settle accounts with her. How could William tolerate others insulting his white moonlight like this? His face changed and he sneered, Emma is a bitch, then who isn't a bitch? Olivia? Olivia is no match for Emma. I was like a piece of meat on a chopping board, letting them compare which one was fresher and tastier. William looked at me and said word by word, Emma is kinder, stronger, braver, and more interesting than Olivia. Oh yeah, Emma is indeed inferior to Olivia in one respect. Emma is not like some big mouth who never grows up and uses other people's secrets as a tool to please others. I looked back at him and said very forcefully, William, you have no right to compare me with others, and you have no right to throw dirty water on me. William curled his lips and said disdainfully, why, wasn't it you who reported me and Emma together in high school? Didn't you eavesdrop and tell my mom about what happened between Emma's mom and my dad? We had planned to stop them, but you ruined it all. What he meant was, don't blame the dad who cheated on his wife, don't blame Emma's mom who took on the role of a mistress, but I am the sinner instead? How ironic. But, I said firmly, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. Because I don't know anything. I did have a crush on William for a while. At that time I had just joined the William family. An excellent and handsome brother who takes care of you tenderly and considerately makes it natural for you to fall in love for the first time. I just don't know since when he became more and more impatient with me. He didn't let me call him brother and said viciously that he was an only child and I was just an orphan taken in by their family. He would call me stupid when I asked him questions and tell me to look them up on the internet myself. Finally, he wouldn't let me say hello to him at school. I don't like being treated coldly, so I gradually became indifferent to him. William and Emma started dating in school. At that time, a transfer student came to our class and sat at the same table with me. Mia is talkative and annoying. I spend all my free time dealing with him. How can I have time to pay attention to William and Emma's campus romance? By the time I found out what was going on, William's mother and uncle had been arguing at home for half a month. As stupid as I am, I only realized now that I have been soaked in a basin of dirty water for nearly 10 years. But my husband, even though he lives with me day and night, doesn't believe me and has never asked me even a single question. He was convinced that I was the one who made the complaint behind his back. To be honest, it's a bit embarrassing. William was stunned for a long while before he suddenly looked at William's mother. William's mother slapped her thigh and burst into tears. I just said it because I was afraid you would blame me. Mom almost lost your dad, and I can't lose you again. William pursed his lips, as if he wanted to say something. He didn't say anything, slammed the door and left, leaving William's mother sitting on the sofa in a daze. I stepped forward to comfort her. But she pushed my hand away, eyes full of resentment. It's all your fault. If you hadn't said anything, this would have been over. I stared blankly at my empty palms. If I wasn't worried that William would grow up strong enough to find that bitch's daughter after graduating from college, why would I bring you together? You are such a loser. You can't even keep a man. I have wasted my time raising you. My eyes got warm. I didn't want to cry in front of her. However, at this moment, I couldn't hold back any longer and looked at her with tears in my eyes. Auntie, how much more do you need? William's mother was startled. How much? How much more do I need to buy out your kindness in raising me? She stopped talking. I went back to my room to pack my things. This is the wedding house they bought for William. Since I have made up my mind to divorce, this place no longer belongs to me. I had nothing but a few clothes, which I packed into my small suitcase. William's mother saw that I was serious and kept saying behind me, "You loser, if it weren't for me, would you have been able to finish high school? Would you have been able to go to college?" I sighed and walked out of the house. Before closing the door, I nodded to William's mother and said, "Auntie, come back to me after you have figured it out. Bye. And thank you." The elevator blocked her from hearing what was coming next. I leaned against the elevator, my face reflected in the mirror. He looked so tired, and there were a few scratches on his forehead from the car accident. From beginning to end, no one mentioned it, no one cared. No one asked, "What's wrong with you?" The woman in the mirror pursed her lips. In the end, she held back her tears. "I'll check into the hotel first. Short-term rental for half a month, and then slowly look for a house near the company. William called me late at night. He seemed drunk, slurring his words and mumbling my name. I sat up and turned on the bedside lamp. "What do you want to say? If it's not about divorce, I don't think there's any need for us to get in touch." William kept repeating, "Divorce, divorce." When I decided to hang up, he suddenly said in a harsh voice, "Olivia, you are so cruel, you aborted our child. If Benjamin hadn't told me, would you have kept it a secret from me forever? A vicious woman like you will never have your own children, and you will have no relatives in the world." His words were like thousands of sharp arrows, piercing my heart. The night sneaked in through the window and pressed down on me. Large areas of black. For a moment, I couldn't breathe because of the pain. At this time, someone snatched his phone. Benjamin said quickly, "Sister-in-law, don't take it personally, Brother William is drunk. You are husband and wife, you can quarrel at the head of the bed and make up at the foot of the bed. There is nothing you can't get over. Come pick him up tonight and go home and have a good talk." I hung up the phone expressionlessly and blacklisted the number. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and the city is still asleep. Tall buildings stand tall and there are bright lights and nightlife. I was driving on a lightly trafficked road, the lights on both sides gradually fading. A moon hangs alone on the dark, choppy sea. I haven't seen the stars for a long, long time. The lonely moon is reflected on the seashore, as if calling me. I took off my shoes and walked towards it step by step. The seawater was icy cold, seeping through my clothes and making my blood seem to have frozen. William is right. I have no relatives in the world. I can't keep all those who love me and those I love. With my chest immersed in seawater, I could smell the strong fishy smell of the sea. It seemed like someone was calling my name in my ear. "Is it Mia?" That day, when I was trying to stop a fight, I was hit on the head by an ashtray thrown by William's father. Blood dripped onto the white school uniform. I went to the hospital alone to treat the wound, which was very painful, so I called Mia. When I walked out of the hospital, I bumped into him, sweating profusely. Mia is like a monkey on weekdays, laughing and making noises, and being heartless. That day, he held my hand and squatted on the side of the road crying miserably, "Olivia, I'll kill you with this pain." I smiled and comforted him, "It doesn't hurt." He wiped his tears and glared at me, "You are really an indestructible cockroach." Later, he helped me apply medicine every day. As the sun sets, we hide in a corner of the playground. He asked me if I wanted to go to Country B to study at university. "You have good grades, so you can go to MIT to study botany. I live next door to you, and we can hang out together every day." I joked, "What if you bring my grades down?" Mia was annoyed, but only for 2 seconds. "Don't worry, I will study hard." He rested his head on my calf. "Let's stay away from the people here, okay, Olivia?" He has clear and beautiful eyes. With those eyes looking at me, how could I not agree? Okay. In the end, I didn't keep my promise. After I told Mia that I would stay in the South to go to college, he hung up the phone and didn't contact me for a long time. When we contacted each other again, he told me that he was going to study abroad. "Olivia, you're a liar. You're just as big a liar as she is. I'm never going to talk to you again." How childish, Mia. His mind seems to be stuck in the 3rd grade of elementary school. His father cheated on him during marriage, and his mother tricked him into getting the toy. The moment he turned around, his mother jumped down. Mia picked up the toy and turned around to see blood all over the floor. I don't want Mia to ignore me. Later on, I would rather he ignored me than get on that plane. On my birthday during my freshman year, I used the money from my part-time job to buy myself a cake. I took it back to the dormitory and shared it with my roommates. After eating and playing, I hid in the balcony alone, staring at my phone in a daze. I'm waiting for a call from the other side of the ocean. I didn't get a call, but a scheduled message. "You little liar, no one is celebrating your birthday with you? You deserve it, you lied to me. Humph, come pick me up at the airport quickly. When you see the message, I still have half an hour to get to the airport." Attached is a photo of the plane ticket. I felt like I was struck by lightning. According to the news report, the plane disappeared shortly after taking off. I rushed to the airport and waited anxiously with other people waiting to pick me up. That night, we were all like ants on a hot pot, being tortured by the fire. I waited for several months, but there was no news. How I wish I could see Mia jump out and call me a little liar. It's just wishful thinking. The plane disappeared, but the pain in the hearts of those waiting grew worse. Nose dipped in water. The seawater rushed into my nostrils, and the feeling of suffocation was always there. At this moment, a big wave came, and the moment it touched my body, it turned into gentle water waves, like a big hand, pushing me to the shore. I sat on the beach, sea water pouring out of my nostrils and mouth. Waves of sea water hit my ankles. It's as if someone is saying, "Stay away. Stay away. A little further away." I murmured, "Mom. Are they protecting me?" I sat blankly on the beach, and slowly, I figured it out. How stupid it is to seek death just because of someone else's words. If I die, what will happen to those who died? Will anyone remember them? Death is not the end, oblivion is. I want to live with the memory of them. Lie bravely. It was already morning when I returned to the hotel. I took a shower, dried my hair, and had breakfast, and then it was 10 o'clock. I followed William and looked through Benjamin's various social media accounts. A German IP was locked in the comments under one of his video software. "Are you Benjamin's girlfriend?" At 12 noon, she replied, "Well, who are you? What can I do for you?" I didn't tell her my identity, but told her what I saw in the gynecology department that day. Everyone who does something wrong should get his comeuppance, right? The girl seemed shocked, and after 10 minutes she said, "Thank you, I will check it out. Just let them know." As for how she investigates and what she plans to do after she finds out, that is none of my business. I returned to work as normal. I met an uninvited guest downstairs on the first day. I got straight to the point, "You're here to discuss a divorce, right?" William looked like he didn't sleep well last night. He was listless and had purple spots under his eyes. He took out a piece of paper and said dejectedly, "I received this today." I glanced. Oh, it turned out to be my traffic accident report. I took it and said, "If this is all you're here to give me, thank you. Please consider the divorce as soon as possible." I walked past him and left. William suddenly grabbed my hand with a painful expression. "I'm sorry, Olivia, I didn't know." "Don't know what?" I tilted my head to look at him. "I don't know why you cursed me to be vicious and never have children of my own. Or why you exposed my scars and repeatedly told me that I was an orphan." The pain in his eyes deepened, and he said with difficulty, "I didn't know you were in a car accident and the child was gone." I shouldn't have said that to you. This matter really needs to be discussed in detail. I took him to a quiet coffee shop. After we sat down, I said, just saying sorry is nothing. Agreeing to a divorce is your best apology gift to me. William looked at me steadily and shook his head slowly. Olivia, I don't want a divorce. I think I like you. He became more and more excited as he spoke, as if he had really convinced himself. Yes, I love you, let's live a good life in the future, okay? I will plan the next wedding, and you can be a beautiful bride. I looked at him in shock. I wanted to laugh, this is so funny. I didn't laugh, I just pulled the corners of my mouth stiffly and whispered, don't love me anymore, William. This love is too late and too cheap. I don't believe it. You love me, so you ran away from the marriage, leaving me alone to endure everyone's strange looks. You love me, so you traveled with Emma in the Northwest for a month without telling me. You love me, so you think I'm the one who told the secret. You never believed me. In your mind, I'm the one who told the secret. I said helplessly, William, I have seen your love for Emma, so I know that your love for me is not love. I've seen how he loves Emma. Emma is very willful and does whatever she wants. William fully tolerated her willfulness. Although he was a good student, he was willing to skip classes to spend her birthday with her. Emma doesn't like to eat the cilantro in the bowl, but she likes the smell of cilantro, so she always asks him to pick it out after stirring it. He is a germaphobe, but he always complies with her wishes. Even though they broke up later, William never forgot her birthday and sent her birthday presents every year. I know what his love is like. William grabbed my hand, as if eager to make me believe his sincerity. Olivia, I am sincere. It was wrong of me to run away from the marriage. I was just too nervous and I didn't think it through. At the time, Emma was also going to travel to the Northwest. I only considered her a friend and went with her because I thought we could go together. I had already been there. I couldn't find you anywhere during those 2 days after I came back. That's when I realized how much I wanted to see you and how much I wanted to start a family with you. There was not a word of truth in his mouth. I sighed, friends who can kiss? Then you have a really good relationship. William was stunned for a moment. No. He wanted to quibble. Yes, it was just a pair of shadows close to each other, which can be completely explained as an illusion of light and shadow. I didn't give him a chance to quibble, and I put on a sad smile. I was waiting for the red light, and I was distracted by Emma's circle of friends, so I didn't have time to avoid the car that ran the red light. Son, that day is gone. Actually, I wanted to tell you about his existence a long time ago, but you blocked me. William, you blocked me. You broke any chance you had with him while he was still alive. I stared into his eyes and didn't allow him to dodge even a little. I watched the light in his eyes dim little by little. William murmured, it was me. I killed our child. I nodded, yes, it's you. He was silent for a long time and finally agreed to a divorce before my patience ran out. In the divorce agreement, William gave me almost everything he could. I accepted them all. During the cool-off period for divorce, he harassed me by phone in the middle of the night. I removed him from the blacklist a few days ago in order to facilitate contact regarding the divorce. Now I regret it. I regret it very much. I sent him in again. Unexpectedly, he took Benjamin's phone and said, Olivia, I'm sorry. Benjamin took the phone and said disapprovingly, Sister-in-law, William has already known he was wrong, can't you forgive him just once? I simply said, don't call me sister-in-law. Also, you can't. Brother William didn't do anything terribly evil, did he? As a couple, they just have a few quarrels and it's over. My girlfriend and I have been on and off for so many years, but we're still engaged, aren't we? Sarcasm appeared on my face, and I subconsciously wanted to say, so you repay her by cheating on her? I was afraid of ruining other people's plans, so I swallowed back the words that were about to come out of my mouth and put him on the blacklist as well. After that, I pretended not to see any unfamiliar calls. William finally behaved himself. Finally, the day came to receive the divorce certificate. The sun is shining, just like my heart. When signing, William was so slow that I got angry and urged him, can you hurry up? Will you ignore me from now on? Worried that he might change his mind, I gently said, how could that be? We can still be friends even if we're divorced. William finally signed his name. I cursed in my heart, damn friend. Before we parted, he asked if he could hug me. I shook my head. Sorry, no, I don't know you well. His eyes were red. Olivia, have you ever liked me? His question stumped me. Let me think about it carefully. Yes, I liked him. It's not the secret love during teenage years, but the daily companionship after entering society. His hypocritical warmth once warmed me for a moment. But later I found out that he didn't deserve my love. So I said, no, I just want to repay my aunt for raising me. William cried. I didn't feel sorry for him, and I didn't pay any attention to him. I got in the car and drove away. In the evening, I called William's mother to inform her of my divorce and told her a very unfortunate thing: he gave me all the common property of the couple. William's mother got angry instantly and started talking about how I was an ungrateful person and how I shouldn't have brought him home in the first place. I listened to her patiently. This no longer stirs the slightest ripple in my heart. After it was quiet over there, I said, I can return them to you, but I will have nothing to do with you or the William family from now on. William's mother was eager to do so. I asked her to write a handwritten certificate and then go to my house to get it. I gave up the property I had taken from William in exchange for my freedom. William's mother sneered, if Olivia's mother knew. I interrupted her and said, if my mother knew, she would be very happy for me. I have mixed feelings about William's mother. According to my mother, Aunt Xiaofeng is gentle and loyal. But later, her unfaithful husband and unreasonable son forced her into this state. No matter what, there will be no contact in the future. After completing the project at hand, I submitted my resignation. The boss offered me a high salary to keep me. I told her, I want to get a PhD. She was stunned, and all she could say turned into one blessing: I wish you success, friend Olivia. Thank you. I gave her a hug. She is my mentor at work and I learn a lot from her. I spent half a year preparing and submitting all the application materials to Yenching University. In January, I passed the initial review and flew to Yenching University to prepare for the re-examination. On the day of the re-examination, it happened to be snowing in Yenching. Pure white snowflakes fell from the sky and landed on my face. It was cold, but soon melted by the burning face. The remaining snow provides a pure layer to the ground. I looked up at the sky and muttered to myself, Mia, the snow in Country B is beautiful. When the re-examination results came out, I was on the list of candidates for admission to the University School of Life Sciences, and began my journey to a new stage. The past 10 years seemed to have been divided by a heavy snowfall. Like a dream. William Extra. Olivia divorced him. He knew he deserved it, he just took advantage of Olivia being nice to him. He originally thought that he didn't love her. But in the 2 days after he came back, he couldn't find Olivia anywhere, and he felt like he was going crazy. During the days they spent together, she quietly entered his heart. But in front of his mother, he was used to pretending not to care. He didn't want his mother to feel that he was being manipulated. After leaving Olivia, William had a hard time. I am confused and can't find the meaning of life. Olivia was different. He knew that she was studying for a doctorate at a university in Country B. She has always been so amazing, she can do whatever she wants. Wasn't this why he rejected her when he was young? He felt that she had taken away his mother's love, and was jealous that she was better than him in every aspect except physics. It's so childish and ridiculous. In the first month that Olivia went to college, Benjamin was caught in bed by his fiancée. William guessed that it was Olivia who filed the complaint. He warned Benjamin that if he played like this, he would fail sooner or later. Benjamin didn't listen and shouted, his body belongs to the hottie, but his heart belongs only to his fiancée. William said Benjamin would regret it. Benjamin even laughed at him, Brother William, I'm not running away from marriage. Benjamin had no chance to escape the marriage. His fiancée Chloe took a photo of him in bed with a hot girl, posted it to the family group, and cancelled the engagement. Chloe is like that, decisive and efficient. The rich second generations around her all went abroad to study to gain academic qualifications, but she was the only one who went to Germany and earned a doctorate degree in her first attempt. Benjamin went to Germany to find Chloe, but was hit on the head by her new boyfriend. William felt he deserved it. The year after Olivia left, his father divorced and remarried Emma's mother. Emma is back too. It was very awkward, he and Emma suddenly became brother and sister. His heart, which had been agitated under the setting sun, was now as calm as water. He even resented Emma occasionally. If it weren't for her, Olivia wouldn't have given up on him. Their children will be fine. His mother made a fuss from before to after the divorce, and later gave an interview in which she cursed William's father and Emma's mother. After all, his father is a well-known entrepreneur. After the interview, their whole family became a joke. My father abandoned his wife and married a widow. My son ran away from his marriage and traveled with his mistress's daughter for a month. Who doesn't say the previous sentence, home of ethics? Olivia doesn't care about any of this. She was intoxicated by the wonderful plants in nature.